Dawn and you're watching Growing Up Chaotic, the channel where I candidly share with you how I survived growing up in an alcoholic, drug-addicted, mentally, emotionally, and physically abusive family. If I can survive and thrive after all of that, I have no doubt that you can too. Now, although we've never met in person and the details of our stories are quite different, I do feel as if author Jeannette Walls and I are kindred spirits. After reading her New York Times bestselling memoir, The Glass Castle, it is clear to me that Jeannette understands the trappings of growing up in a dysfunctional family. Now, Jeannette and her 3 siblings grew up homeless, often sleeping in cardboard boxes to living in shacks that didn't have plumbing or heating. And although their parents were physically present, they were often too distracted with their own issues, needs, wants, and desires to really provide a stable home environment. And I'm reading this off of the back of the book. When sober, Jeannette's brilliant and charismatic father captured his children's imagination, teaching them physics, geology, and how to embrace life fearlessly. But when he drank, he was dishonest and destructive. Her mother was a free spirit who abhorred the idea of domesticity and didn't want the responsibility of raising a family. On the surface, The Glass Castle is a fantastic read simply because the story itself is so captivating. While you're reading it, you think, oh my God, how did she survive all of that, right? She goes on to, where she comes from being homeless to uprooting herself, to going to college, to becoming a successful columnist and author, to even living on Park Avenue in Manhattan, New York City. But underneath all of that, underneath the surface, this memoir is truly a story about breaking the cycle of dysfunction. It's a success story, which isn't something we often hear about when we talk about growing up chaotic and dysfunction. It's really a story about courage and about forgiveness and about acceptance and about shame, and the shame that we carry around with ourselves, within ourselves, as a result of growing up in dysfunction. It's that big, fat, neon sign that we think is blazing over the top of our heads that says, you know, I am a piece of shit, and if you really knew the truth about me, you wouldn't want to have me in your life. It's that self-hatred. And it's a topic that Jeannette jumps right into, right from the onset of the book. Actually, it starts on page 3 where she's telling a story about how she's living on Park Avenue in Manhattan. She's going to a party. She jumps in a cab. The cab gets stuck in traffic, and she looks over her shoulder and she sees her homeless mother picking something out of the garbage. Mom stood 15 feet away. She had tied rags around her shoulders to keep out the spring chill and was picking through the trash. And you have to realize that while Jeannette was living on Park Avenue, her mother was living in the city, but she was homeless. It had been months since I laid eyes on Mom, and when she looked up, I was overcome with panic that she'd see me and call out my name, and that someone on the way to the same party would spot us together, and Mom would introduce herself, and my secret would be out. I slid down in the seat and asked the driver to turn around and take me home to Park Avenue. After ducking down in the taxi so Mom wouldn't see me, I hated myself, hated my antiques, my clothes, and my apartment. She's talking about shame here, and this is the part of the book that truly resonated with me because it's something that I struggle with. It's that shame. Shame is the self-hatred. That's why you need to go out and get The Glass Castle by Jeannette Walls. And if you've already read it, maybe share it with a friend or read it again. And even if you didn't grow up in dysfunction, you didn't grow up with abuse or alcoholism or drug-addicted parents, it still is a fantastic book to read because it's a success story, right? So if you've already read this book and maybe you haven't read the book, maybe you're considering going out and buying it, I would love to hear about it in the comment section below. I'd love to hear if there's any specific theme that sticks out for you, that resonates with you. And of course, if you know someone that you think could benefit from reading this book, please share this video with them. You can also follow me on Twitter at Growing Up Chaotic. And for additional insight and inspiration, you can subscribe to the Growing Up Chaotic blog at growingupchaotic.wordpress.com. Now that's all that I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Go out and get Jeannette Walls' book, memoir, The Glass Castle, and I'll see you next time.